it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have another Crafter's Companion subscription box. So first I'm going to run through what comes in the kit, and then we're going to get into making some awesome projects. This is called the Over the Edge kit, and that's kind of what those dies are for. They cut out a selective part of the stamped image, so you can cut the card and kind of make it go on the edge. I don't actually do that. This video, surprise, I am a rebel and go against what you're supposed to do. So those are the really cute stamp sets, and here is the paper. So it came with those little water droplets, it came with the cards and envelopes, it came with some ribbon, it came with 2 sets of stamps and 2 sets of dies that coordinate. I personally would rather have had just the die that cut out the whole image. I'm not a huge fan of the on the edge. I think it looks really cool when other people do it, but I can't get it to look good. So I try it. I think with the first card, I don't even think I show it in the video. But anyway, I thought what would be fun is to color in the no line coloring way. So scrapbook.com has some really amazing amalgam inks, which means that they work like you can watercolor over them and it won't smudge. You can color with your alcohol inks, it won't smudge. You can just do a lot of things and it won't smudge, which is my favorite kind of ink because I like to do whatever I want, and sometimes that want happens in the middle and I have already made choices and you have to live with those. So scrapbook.com has those inks. Gina K also has some awesome inks. So I would suggest either of those 2 brands. I ran out of my Gina K ink and for the life of me could not find a way to get just the refill for it. So I just went ahead and got a bunch of ones at scrapbook.com. So I'm using their fog and I'm stamping a bunch of these cute little critters. So I did some of the dogs in the umbrella, and then I did a couple of the cats looking at little bubbles. My favorite type of cat are the Siamese. I could be butchering that. They could be something totally different. I'm personally allergic to just about everything, including cats and dogs and horses. So like animals just in general, I like outside of my 10-foot personal bubble because they make me very uncomfortable, like nose sinus wise. I think they're pretty and they seem really fun and wonderful, but I don't have any. And my sister doesn't have any, who lives about 5 minutes away. My brother has 3 dogs, but that's because his wife is a vet. Anyway, so I like the Siamese. I think they look really cute. So that's how I'm coloring them today, which means I'm using a lot of different colors. I start from, I'm going to back up and say, I think that you basically color it in like you would color in a marshmallow, where you have the very light color to the very dark color. So I'm going lightest to darkest, and then I'm going to go back again from the darkest to the lightest. But I'm not coloring the lightest color over the darkest color because that'll kind of make it splotchy. I'm just going over 1 or 2 layers with each lighter color, not all of the layers. So that's how I colored Little Siamese Cat. One thing to note with them is their extremities are where the darker colors are at, because something with their blood flow and warmth causes the color change. So that's why their noses and their little feet and their ears are the darker colors. Then I'm going in with the other cat, and I wanted to make this one kind of white gray. So also using a lot more than 3 colors. Sometimes I only use 3 colors. The more colors you use, the more dimensional it's going to look. And so since I'm not using lines, I really wanted to use more colors to give it more edge. You will see I do kind of outline a few of the areas with that very darkest color. I don't go around the whole thing just where there would be shadows, but I do add that kind of line back in there, and it's a little bit of a cheaterly way. I'm also adding a little bit of fur look, which is how I'm flicking that marker. Then I'm going in with the BG10 to start to make the bubbles. You will see on the stamp kind of where they think the highlight should be. So that's what I went for the whole picture, is I just made that highlight on the top left. With the bubbles, you just have to kind of color the bottom third with the medium color, and then a line or two with the darkest color, but leave a little bit. You need to put it a little bit in so there's a little bit of the medium color behind it, and then just go color backwards. Do the middle color and then the lightest color. Then I'm coming in with a little bit of pink just to give it another color, and it kind of matched the colors in the set. I added a little bit of black outlines so that they would have little whiskers, and add in the eyes, and then I added some white gel pen to add a little bit of highlights. Next, I'm going in with those same gray colors and making some Dalmatians. I feel like I saw this on one of their cards where they had some little Dalmatians, or perhaps I just thought it would be super cute. Either way, whatevs. I did add the darkest color, which is those black spots, and then I colored over it with all of the colors so that it wouldn't be as smooth, so that it would look more like fur. I'm adding the same blue to the ribbon because you want to have a limited color palette, so adding the blue in both the little water droplets and that bow kind of ties the whole piece together, as well as that blue that I picked is also a part of the color scheme in the pattern papers, which I'm going to use in a little bit. I came in with the darker colors that I used on that adorable little Siamese cat and colored the middle dog with that. I didn't want all the dogs to be the same, even though they definitely could be. They look similar. I wanted kind of have a middle guy, kind of break it up. I don't know. I just thought it would be fun. And so I went with him, and I went with a little bit darker of a color. Then I'm coming in with some purple, which is one of the hardest colors to alcohol marker color. And that's because they don't make a ton of colors. The reason they don't make a ton of colors is because purple is a very difficult color to manufacture. It's why the ancient Roman leadership, like only the richest people could afford purple, is because it's a very difficult color to manufacture. And even now, it is the hardest color to manufacture. You can, and it's done synthetically now rather than by killing a bunch of ocean creatures. Anyway, I'll move off history, but I picked gold for the handle and the little knobs because it matched the color scheme of the papers, as well as I thought it would be fun color. Then I'm going back in with the black, adding their little noses and eyes and little happy faces, and then some white dots just to make some things look a little bit glossy. Now, here's my genius way that I cut out the center of this pattern paper. I put the die with some washi tape face up or face down where the die edge was facing up, and then I put the paper exactly on top of it so that I could just glue that right on top of the card base. So I colored, I don't know if I said this earlier, I colored directly on the card base. And I wanted this to be behind a circle opening, and that was my way to do that. So that it's perfectly in the center and it looks adorable. Because I'm not sure I got the stamp perfectly in the center, if that makes sense. I might be making a big mess of this. Anyway, I went ahead and stamped with that cute Hello Friends sentiment. And that one is almost done. I add one little thing later. But here on this one, I wanted to have a little bit extra of that blue folding over the top edge. And that's what I did. I should have folded that paper first and then glued it on, but I didn't. So I had some wonky issues. Here's where I tried to do the over the edge technique. And it did not look great. No matter what I did, I couldn't make it look good. So I ended up just fussy cutting out the rest of that. Here, I'm taking the Hello Friend sentiment again. I put it on this pink cardstock that kind of matches the pink of their paws. And adding a little fishtail, and then I'm going to glue that to the card we were just working on as the sentiment. And I think that card is actually done. So really easy. I spent a ton of time coloring, and then the rest of the time, I didn't want the rest of the card to be too in your face because there's so much going on with that. Since it's so complex there, I wanted the rest of the card to be pretty simple. So I'm taking just some leftover little slivers of paper and adding them to the top and bottom just kind of as an embellishment. Similarly, I'm going to do here, this is the other one I colored. Instead of having a purple umbrella, I ended up going with the pink umbrella, which was easier to color and blend than the purple. Like I said, purple is a hard color to blend because they don't have as many purple colors. So then I wanted to do a similar card to the one we created a minute ago with the fold over blue. So that's what I did. This time I did fold it first and then added glue and put it down over the top. I also thought what would be really pretty is to have a pink lacy edge. So I got out one of my dies that is very lacy and die cut that pink paper out. You do not have to just settle for what's in your box. Whatever box it is, whatever subscription box you have, you don't have to just go with what's in there. I decided I really wanted to add something else to it, and I think that one turned out amazing. I really loved the edge there. So here I'm adding some blue leftover pieces with this really pretty aqua cloud or sea. I don't know. I guess it depends on which way you turn it. It could be clouds or it could be the ocean. Paper to the insides. I just thought it'd be cute. Nice inside-y thing. I've been trying to do more insides to my cards because I think it really ties it in, and I always have leftover stuff and it's fun to have pretty insides too. So I cut down that paper or the card that I had made. I'm sorry, I'm having issues today. I cut down the card that I had made using the on the edge technique because I did not like it. And I got the top there that said Hello Friend. Now I wanted the background to have a little bit of pink, but I didn't want to die cut again. So I just did a stencil using that worn lipstick, which color matched really well. Added a little bit more aqua paper, glued that down, then glued the little die cut animals onto the card and called it done. I thought these cards turned out super cute. They're not really dies and stamps I would have bought initially, but they are nice to add to my stash, and I'll definitely use them because I know a lot of people who absolutely love their cats and dogs. So it'll be great to use for them. So those are the 5 cards I ended up creating. If you enjoyed this, definitely hit subscribe and the like button. As well, I have a new group going on. It's called a Mighty Network. It's like a Facebook group and it's free. So if you want to check that out, hit the link in the description below and comment if you liked this video. Thanks guys, have a super wonderful crafty day. Bye!